Advertising is an art of convincing someone to spend money that they don't have for something they don't need. Will Rogers said that. While I was preparing for this speech, I came across this quote, and it makes sense because that's what politics looks like. It looks like someone trying to convince someone of something that they don't necessarily want to accept. Political communication is a very broad subject. That's what I would like to is to talk about. It has many different channels through which it comes to us. It also has different forms of how it is presented. I believe it is important for us to know how journalists, advertisers, and different other media try to get our minds to remember and accept and understand what they're trying to pass on to us. First, I would like to start off with what is political communication. Political communication is a focused communication and that has anything to do with politics. The definition of politics is anything that has to do with a government body. The channels through which we perceive this political communication is through radio, newspapers, movies, television, and the most favorable one right now is the internet. The internet is used very often for many different things, but also to catch up on news and different forms of media that to teach us certain things. And speaking of news, journalists like to present their topics and events in something that's called frames. Frames are coherent and linked together events that let us understand what is going on in the world. The number one frame right now that's going on is the gun control issue. And there's a lot of events that are directly associated with it. The most recent one that I can remember is the Sandy shooting. And this is a very sensitive topic at the moment. I believe in our area and also in the United States, the media is using this as a horror tactic to scare the audience for them to give up their right to bear arms and for the citizens to lose its ability to protect itself from harm, being afraid that guns are being misused and are not worthy for normal people to use them. Influence and emotion is a very big thing, especially for the people that are associated with political communication and politics in general. Like I stated before about the fear tactics, if you are able to scare somebody from doing something, then you have quite some power to be able to manipulate them. Most of Americans are not highly educated, which makes the media a very powerful and dangerous tool in the hands of the politicians and political parties to be able to manipulate the public and communicate its desires. We are pressured to not have our own opinion and let the big dogs decide what is best for us. The audience that submits to this pressure usually takes things at face value. Not too long ago, most of our media and politics consisted of optimism. Winston Churchill stood on the position of humanity to stay on the psychological state of being optimistic and keeping his ideas optimistic as well. He said this, "I am an optimist. It doesn't seem too much use to be anything else." Another quote that I came across that touched me was by Harry Truman. "A pessimist is one who makes difficulties out of his opportunities, and an optimist makes opportunities out of his difficulties." We, as citizens and human beings, expect our politicians and anyone who is trying to win us over to be able to express to us a few things. I read most of the things I'm going to be stating right now in the book, Words That Work. It's written by Dr. Franz Lutz, and it has a lot of good points that I took to myself, and I'm planning on using eventually. That person has to have principles, and it has to be able to let us know what he believes in and what he stands for. They also must give us an equal opportunity. Let us know that we have an equal chance of getting to the top, even though we all know that we're not going to end up there. But at least we have that good start. He needs to be able to support communities. Aristotle said that families are the foundation and the model for all governments. So the closer the government is to the family level, the better off it is. Family values are also important. The United States is a family-based country, and the value is linked to personal behavior. He needs to pass on a positive message to us. If they see a problem, they need to have an alternative to how to fix it, and not just be bagging on what has been offered already. They have to have accountability and be able to take responsibility for their actions. And lastly, they have to have solutions to make our way of living better, to give us something to strive for.